Hi, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. What I did with this junk journal, it's one that I previously posted and it was covered completely in antique stamps. I got a couple of emails asking if I could add something to the cover. And I thought, oh, actually, that's a really good idea. So I went into my cabinet card collection, which I've talked about how crazy I am about these antique cabinet cards I got. This one is from the 1880s. And it honestly, it looks like it's been put in a brand new frame. It is in just perfect condition. And I like to think that this beautiful woman here is maybe a world traveler, and she's collected all of these stamps from around the world and sent letters home. That's just my little imagination fantasy about this lady. And I used a book, an antique book, The New High Road of Song. And I've added these antique beads down the side to match the beautiful blacks and beiges that make the colors of the stamps just pop. So let's do a really quick run through because I know some of you have seen this one before, but I did add some new pieces. And of course, we've got this beautiful 1937 envelope topper there, and some children's book pages here from the 30s. This is a French almanac page from Paris. Look at the fashions on that one. Wow, from 1936. And these are 100-year-old satin buttons on a button card here. Aren't they beautiful? You could actually use them if you wanted. Some fabric down here, vintage fabric. And this beautiful 1929 photograph. Whoops, there we go. Looks like we've got some moms and grandmas in there. And then another children's book page here. And this is a vintage, which is older than 50 years old, Birds of America page. I love this one. Look at those hawks and the jade. Oh, it's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And this is a really cool piece. I didn't make a lot of these because they take a lot to fill them, but I've put in here a 1930s flinch card, more gorgeous antique stamps there on their original envelope piece, a very, very old, about an 80-year-old Monopoly short line piece, some Monopoly money that you can journal on the back of, which is what I do. And then up here we have this really cool 1800s children's book page, and I added antique paper to the back to journal on. And then what I think is very cool is this is a file folder tab, and it's the letter N. Pretty cool, right? So phew, that was a lot in one page. That's all posted on top of an antique song page from the book here. And then we've got the King, or the Prince and Queen of England from the 50s. And then this is just a really cheesy old postcard from 1972, so older than 50 years old, and that is from Indiana. And then another children's book page there with antique paper. Very cool. And this is really sweet from a vintage book, The Rabbit Who Wanted Red Wings, and some little child stamped the bejesus out of that there. And then this is a really cool vintage magazine page with all kinds of things that you can make for around your house with fabric and yarn. I really like that. I love the graphics on those old pages. Another children's book page, a hand-typed research paper, more children's book pages. And this is another French piece here, but it's really cool because it's the advertisement page. So again, almost 100 years old. We've got dental, I guess it's teeth products, butterflies, sounds, vos cheveux, your hair. Woo, look at the hair on these two. Zowie. Just really cool, really fun piece, especially if you like French ephemera. That's the real deal. Great from Paris. Another wonderful 1930s children's book page down here. And a really cool page here. Look at this one. Look at how awesome this is. 1941, it's from a photography magazine. Look how cool that is. Really neat. So that's really fun. If you know somebody who likes photography, that might be cool. 1937 workbook for bookkeeping. And then this is another great envelope. And inside I just put a journaling card. But look at that. Look at the great writing on there, and somebody used it. Remember how you used to just scribble, do your math on any scrap or napkin that was around? We've got some great vintage recipes in here, and this is all mounted on top of an antique postcard album page. Another vintage piece here. More recipes under here, vintage applique. More, oh, this is a little women's page. So lots of journaling on both sides of that. I love the pocket here I got from a title page here, Home at Last. And this is very cool. Another French page of Terre, which is the earth, the world. And so this is a French map of the world, and it's beautiful. And that's from the 30s. And on the other side is a really cool universe piece. Look at that. This is pencil. You could erase that if you want. Some student probably did that as part of their work. Raggedy Ann page back there. And the 50s receipt. More children's book pages. Oh, look at this one. The coloring on this is to die for. It's just beautiful. Look at that spread there with the dragon and the girl up the tree. Love it. Oh, look how sweet, the castle. Raggedy Ann and Andy from the 50s. Another great antique page that you can journal on both sides of. So you can flip that up and journal there and there. And then this is another great 1937 magazine page with just great graphics and stories on there. Lots to look at and play with. Great Cinderella page down here from the 30s. Yesterday and Today. Antique paper up here. More antique ephemera and textures here. This is, I believe, from this book. Journal on there. All kinds of pockets and fun here. This is just a really cool old newspaper page, exactly 50 years old, so it's vintage. Do-it-yourself hints to help remove stains. I should probably read that before I give it away. Don't even ask. Little children's book page here. This is from 1850. More stamps. 1955 crochet book, lace crochet. And this is from the... Oh, this one's from the 20s. Very cool children's book page there. A ledger page from 1955, so 70 years old there. And this is really cool. I added this today. A early 1900s postcard. Look at that beautiful boat on the lake. And more children's book pages. I just love these ones. The robins feeding their little birds. And we've got the beautiful cherry blossoms here, and a plate from the early 1900s from Nature's Children. Another really cool bookkeeping page here, ledger sheet. 1950s stamp collector's page, because you got to have that when you got that many stamps on the cover. And this is from Nature's Children as well, from the early 1900s. Isn't that beautiful? That's a plume coming to her nest. And I love this, the Smart Set. That is a vintage magazine. More vintage here. Vintage playing card. You can upcycle that into some really cool things. Vintage crochet. Great advertisements from the 70s. And then more antique journaling here. Vintage upholstery fabric. Oh my goodness, I'm running out of breath. And there we go. That brings us to the end. I hope you love it as much as I loved making and remaking this one. Hyperstamper.etsy.com. Come back soon and don't forget to subscribe. Bye for now.